Look, I'm a total weirdo who takes certifications for fun. But even I think that most of them are just a pain in the ass, especially the good ones. They actually suck, but they bring you closer to a better life and a better job. But you know what's worse? It's being rejected, teased, and feeling worthless on the job market, literally having your soul crushed by HR and bureaucracy. And the only way to actually fix it is to go through some brutal certifications for evergreen skills that AI is not replacing, but are in high demand and that actually matter, especially for beginners, because life is kind of a competition, and the longer you wait to get these certs, the more people you'll have to fight for jobs. I'm gonna shut up now, let's get right into it. So number one is gonna be IBM AI developer. Now, I've been really pissed off recently because I see all these gurus preaching learn how to code and get a job when nobody's actually getting a job. Like, seriously, have you seen the unemployment number for CS majors and especially bootcamp people who just learned how to code? Now, these companies make a ton of money by selling you the dream, and they try to hide it because you can actually lie with statistics. They say that most people get jobs, blah, 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 but they never talk about what jobs people actually get. Imagine spending 10K on a boot camp only to work at McDonald's flipping burgers. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but it won't feel very good after such an investment, and that is very common. But the student did get a job after the course, so success, right? No, a much better option is going to be IBM's AI developer course. Now, instead of being replaced by AI, you're taught how to use AI and work with it. Because the person who learns AI will replace the person who does not, blah, blah, blah. Brutal, but true. So save your money or just give it to a charity. It's better than a useless bootcamp, to be honest. Now, this course is going to be 6 months at 10 hours a week. So really great if you already work full-time or if you're a very busy person. It's also top rated and over 200,000 students have taken it, and you do a lot of Python, AI stuff, software engineering, whatever. Not going to bore you with all the details, or we're going to sit here for like 6 hours, which would be a fun video for me, but maybe not for you. But definitely an 8 out of 10 score for me. Next. And next up is going to be Meta Database Engineer. Sounds really difficult. That's not the case. However, it is extremely boring to most people, and that's why there's a gap in the market here for high-paying remote jobs, because nobody wants to do it. But you and I, we take opportunities, and I also just wanted to say thanks. I know I can sound like a robot at times, but your support and success stories I read about in the comments hit right in here, and I really appreciate you. Enough therapy, let's check it out. So this course takes about 6 months at 6 hours per week, so you can finish in 2 months or even in a few weeks if you do like a speed run. I've tried it a couple of times. Not the best option for learning. Learning takes time, but again, I've done it myself, so I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. One time I actually finished one of the Google certs in about a week, which is pretty crazy, so who am I to, judge you for speeding through it? Anyway, it's top rated with 9 courses and everything you need to learn about databases, basically. Now, a database stores information like an Excel file, but just way bigger and different formats. And data is the new gold, and companies crave these people who know how to work with data. And yes, this could be boring. Most people want to become data analysts, data scientists, machine learning engineers, whatever. But that's very hard and very competitive as well. And database engineers are kind of lurking in the shadows, in the background, with pretty good salaries too. But you do sacrifice one thing, okay? Going on a first date and saying I'm a database engineer is not really going to beat I'm a machine learning engineer or I'm a data scientist. You will sound more like a nerd, but who cares, you'll be a rich nerd. Definitely worth an 8 out of 10. Next. So next up is going to be Google. Google is kind of the king of online courses, or queen, and this is called IT automation, and it literally has over 800,000 students and a 4.8 star rating, which is very good. But it's not perfect because it is somewhat difficult, and that's why I bring it up. Python is going to be a programming language, and it's actually the programming language. It's super versatile, popular, and definitely worth studying because companies actually want the skill, unlike a lot of other things that we learn out there. Now, what is IT automation? It's kind of exactly what the name suggests. It's IT and automation. So you take boring, tedious tasks and you plug in some automation to make it automated. Wow. And that saves companies time and money, which is why they really need these skills. Basically, you actually contribute to the company. You help them save money and time. Now, obviously, the big downside here is you actually have to learn Python. That's why I call it kind of brutal, because learning your first programming language is like learning a new language. It's very hard, shocking, again, right? That's why the next certification is a better option for beginners, because it is much easier. Still a 7 out of 10. All right, so now it's going to be time for AI agents, but it's not a random course. It's by Vanderbilt University, who's been educating the US since 1873, and they've had an acceptance rate of 6.3% in 2023, meaning that it's very hard to even get into the university. And even if you do happen to get accepted, it's very, very expensive to study there. It's in Nashville, Tennessee, but the tuition fees are absolutely ridiculous, as with a lot of colleges and universities nowadays. Instead, just grab this cert for free. Now, what the heck is an AI agent? They are literally everywhere now, and we see all the AI agent stuff and AI blah, blah, blah. Basically, AI agents are computer helpers that can do tasks on their own, kind of like an assistant. Or like ChatGPT, but for a specific thing, like ChatGPT for real estate or finance, that actually understand your specific situation and can work with you. And they can learn, solve problems, and work without getting tired. Plus, companies love them because they don't have to pay them and they can treat them like an overworked intern forever. Now, this course is for beginners and it only takes 2 months at 10 hours per week to finish. There are different AI models and stuff like that out there, but this course focuses on ChatGPT and OpenAI, just to make that clear. The reviews look really, really good, but I do have one issue that we need to discuss, okay? So this field is really, really new. Like, you're not gonna find regular job listings for like AI agent developer, or at least very, very few. Instead, this is perfect for freelancers or to start your own business. It is also perfect if you're already in tech, but you want to catch up with the AI wave that's, going at the moment. So yeah, a great course, but the field itself is not for everyone. 8 out of 10. All right, moving away from tech for just a second and over to the most fun thing ever. Are you excited? Insurance. Yay! Listen, insurance is boring as hell, but extremely important. It helps people pay for life-saving surgeries, cover losses, or just reduce the risk of something really bad happening. Like if you have a family and you pass away, God forbid, what's gonna happen? Well, then there's, for example, life insurance that can step in and cover some of the costs. Now, I promise I'm not gonna try to pitch you insurance in this video. That would be a pretty weird angle, but you can make serious money through selling insurance. And Liberty Mutual just dropped their professional certificate for insurance. Now, that's gonna teach you insurance, wow, like the basics of how that works, and how to sell insurance, and then how to turn this into a full-time career or a full-time income at least. And the best part is you actually get commissions. So if you're a really good salesperson and you sell a lot of insurance, you can enjoy the fruits of your own labor. Now, the downside, yes, I'm gonna be honest, it is tedious, it is intense, and you gotta be a sleazy salesperson, so it's definitely not for everyone. 7.5 out of 10. Next, do you see the AI gold rush, the big wave, but you feel like you're missing out, either because you're not that technical, or you don't really know how to code, or you just feel like you're a bit late to the game? Well, allow me to introduce IBM AI Product Manager. Wow, that was a fancy introduction and not like my style. But look, everybody thinks the people who make money from AI are building the AI and the stuff themselves. But in reality, no, that's not the case. Some people build AI, other people manage it and make it useful and make sure everything works. And that's what you do as an AI product manager. The course is also top rated, with only 3 months at 10 hours per week to finish. And the modules give you a very good understanding of AI without kind of delving into all the technical details, because you're not going to be a developer and you don't really need it. Your job is to make the AI useful, not to build the actual AI itself, by giving the instructions and seeing what the company needs and what features are missing and giving feedback, etc. to the actual developers. And what's crazy is also how high the salaries are for AI management roles, because management normally pays pretty well, but also most managers have no clue about what to do with AI, to be honest, because it's so new. So the people who actually do know it, they get rewarded pretty well. Now, as you understand, the job is still pretty new and will only grow in the future, and AI is becoming more complex, more widespread, and more important. So seriously, if you have the chance, I would say jump on the AI wave while you still can. 9 out of 10. All right, next is going to be IBM Data Science. Now, we talked about data science being difficult, and that is still true, but it is also a fantastic opportunity because you see, in data science, you don't need to be an expert programmer who builds like super complex software solutions. Yes, you do need certain skills to deal with data, and a lot of people in data science love their careers because you basically get to explore, you get to predict things, and you get to investigate and build models and making data useful to companies. That's kind of the big picture thing that you're doing. But what about salaries? Because we all have to put food on the table, right? So according to Glassdoor.com, the average salary for a data scientist in the US is about $153,000 per year, which is absolutely insane. And top tier talent is way beyond those numbers too. I do have to be honest though, like there is a lot of stuff you have to learn to break into data science. The course covers some things like data science basics, databases, Python, data analysis, machine learning, and you can also do some projects. And it's really good, but you are in for a serious challenge if you decide on data, and this course alone is not going to be enough to get a job. 8 out of 10. And next up is going to be my personal favorite. It's something I love to do every single day, and that is accounting. No, I actually hate it, even though I do like numbers, and that should tell you something. But honestly, some people love being accountants. And if you're very, detail-oriented, because mistakes can be very costly there, you like structure and you like following guidelines and rules, it is perfect for you. And accounting has a lot of jobs too, even for beginners, especially compared to other fields. And also, you're not going to start as a real accountant with all of the responsibility, so you can actually start as a beginner, especially if you don't have like a relevant degree. You will become a bookkeeper and then go up from there, which is an entry-level position. Now, the course we're talking about is going to be from Intuit Academy, and Intuit owns one of the major and the biggest accounting softwares out there, so they know their business in and out, you could say. It only takes 2 months at 10 hours per week and is top rated. And the course has 4 different parts. And the first one is going to be bookkeeping basics. Wow. Then assets in accounting, which basically means like money, cars, real estate, and other assets that you can own. And then more complex stuff like liabilities and equity in accounting and financial statements. So yes, honestly, I can vouch for this. You'll never see accounting being like the most popular field, but it's always there lurking in the shadows with decent salaries and job opportunities. So I'll give it probably like an 8.5 out of 10. All right, next up is going to be Microsoft's cybersecurity certificate. And cybersecurity is pretty tough. I mean, you're literally fighting bad guys all day, so you need to stay ahead and you need to be very skilled to do so. Still, it's one of the best options for beginners in 2026, simply because of one reason, and that is how fast the field is growing and how important it is. I guess that's 2 reasons. With artificial intelligence, tech, and all the evolution, cyber is rapidly growing, and every company, literally every company and every person and every institution is at massive risk. According to Glassdoor.com, the average US salary for a cyber analyst is roughly $127K per year, but it really depends on your location, and salaries vary widely even within the same state, depending on companies and all that kind of stuff, which is why I don't really like to talk about averages anymore, but that's all we have to play with. This course is also top rated, as all the courses that I like to recommend from Microsoft, in only about 6 months at 10 hours per week. So I'm gonna break down the pros and cons real quick for you, okay? Pros, yes, it's designed by Microsoft and lots of companies use Microsoft's products, so it gives you job-ready skills right away. The downsides are that you'll need way more than this course to land a job. Cyber is a pretty complex field, and it's not something that you can break into with like a 240-hour course. Like, if you don't have a relevant degree, you will need something else. You might have to start with another IT job and get IT experience like help desk. Plus, honestly, cyber is kind of brutal, but it's also very, very interesting and a very good field to break into if you can do so. 8 out of 10. All right, moving on to Google Advanced Data Analytics. Now, don't panic, it's not that bad, it's actually pretty easy. Data analytics is kind of like the light version of data science. I might get some hate for that, but that's the truth. You don't need to be as technical, you don't need to know all the math and all the complex stuff, and instead you basically focus on analyzing data and bringing out smart insights from it. Very important still, but not as technical as data science. Like, should McDonald's sell this burger, or how do we get people to add fries and a drink to maximize profits from our machines when people buy stuff, basically. I don't know, I'm exposing my eating habits here. But Lucas, it says advanced, so it must be really, really difficult. No. The only reason why it's called advanced is because it continues Google's basic data analytics certificate. So in my opinion, you don't need to do that one first. You could take both of them, but if you just want to save a little bit of time, you can jump straight to the advanced version, and it's going to teach you more useful things, and it's much more hands-on practice. And you know, being able to actually do stuff is way more valuable to an employer than just watching videos, because honestly, when I watch videos and when I watch tutorials, I never remember anything. It's also top rated and will dig into all the data stuff that you need. So I'll give it like a 9 out of 10. And then IBM Business Analyst. No, another analyst. Well, analysts get high salaries and they're in demand, and it's also pretty fun. And you're kind of like a Sherlock Holmes for companies, just without the suit and staring at a screen all day. So I guess you're not really Sherlock Holmes, but you know. I think this course is seriously underrated, and you can literally finish it within a month or like 2 weeks if you go really hard at it. And the difference here compared to a data analyst is that a business analyst is even less technical. Like there's the data scientist, very technical, data analyst, medium technical, and a business analyst, not very technical. They don't do as much like programming and techie stuff in general. Yeah, boy. I even made a full video comparing all these roles like data analyst, business analyst, data scientist, analyst. So check it out if you want to. I'll leave it below in the description. But this job is actually perfect for the person who likes to analyze and solve problems, but without all the tech stuff attached to it. And I think a lot of people feel that way. Like they don't want to do all the complicated programming. They just want to analyze things and make money from it. That's why I'll give this course a solid 8.5 out of 10. But I review a lot of certifications, and the best one for you could still be waiting in this video right here. I promise my videos are the best. Totally unbiased opinion. Check it out. See you there.